Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to absolutely transform how you manage property compliance in London. Look, if you own or manage property, you already know the regulatory landscape is, well, it's an absolute minefield, right? Our goal today is to shift you away from that dreaded last-minute panic and get you to a place of absolute documented certainty. So let's dive right in by asking the one crucial question that actually matters before any tenancy, renewal, sale, or insurance review. Are your landlord certificates actually in order? And I don't mean just roughly in order or sitting in some dusty, forgotten email thread. I don't mean assuming they're valid just because the property was checked a couple of years ago. I mean properly in order, completely current, and instantly ready to share the second someone asks. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit 1. The compliance reality check. 2. The fragmented system. 3. One practical booking route. 4. The 4-step process. 5. Common landlord mistakes. And finally, 6. Planned compliance for London. Let's get to it. All right, Section 1. The compliance reality check. Is your paperwork ready? Listen, there is exactly one standard your documents need to meet. They must be properly in order, current, accurate, and ready to send instantly. Because when a tenant, a letting agent, a local authority, lender, or insurer asks for proof, they aren't looking for excuses. They need immediate, irrefutable evidence that your property is safe. And the stress rarely comes from a casual routine check. It's almost always a trigger event. Picture this. It's Friday at 4 p.m. A new tenant is literally waiting for the keys, and the letting agent suddenly demands an updated EICR. No way, right? Instantly, your relaxed afternoon turns into a frantic scramble. These trigger events, tenancy starts, insurance audits, refinancing, they literally never seem to happen at a convenient time, do they? Which brings us to Section 2, the fragmented system, why compliance becomes stressful. That Friday afternoon stress, it comes directly from fragmentation. Bouncing between totally unrelated suppliers, calling one contractor for gas, a completely different one for electrics, and literally tearing your hair out looking for lost PDFs, it's incredibly inefficient. The alternative is unified, streamlined compliance. A single booking route that handles the whole shebang. It saves massive amounts of time and, honestly, mental energy. So, we need a complete mindset shift here. Actually, scratch that, it's more like a totally new operating system. Compliance isn't just some annoying pile of emergency paperwork you deal with when a tenant is knocking at the door. It needs to be the core, proactive foundation of your entire property management strategy. Okay, Section 3. One practical booking route, Landlord Property Certificates. Whether you need a same-day gas safety check, an emergency EICR, or an urgent fire risk assessment, bringing all these requirements under one London-focused brand is a real game changer. It completely eliminates the logistical nightmare. You no longer have to juggle 5 different phone numbers just to get a single property ready to let. It's all just sorted. And think about this. A certificate is so much more than a random PDF sitting on your desktop. It's your ultimate proof of diligence. It proves you took action to protect your tenants and your investment long before a minor issue escalated into a massive complaint, an enforcement issue, or a delayed tenancy. Because as we know, your property type dictates exactly what evidence you need. A standard single-let flat requires a completely different approach than, say, a complex HMO with shared escape routes. Mapping your specific property type to its unique safety systems, like gas, fixed electrics, or fire alarms, is the very first critical step to getting the right coverage. It's kind of like a giant puzzle, and you need all the right pieces. Moving right along to Section 4, the 4-step process, moving from chaos to clarity. This 4-step process takes that heavy administrative burden completely off your shoulders, right through to handling remedial defects. It's so simple. You just provide the property and deadline details, confirm the quote and appointment, let the engineer complete the inspection, and boom, you receive your digital certificate or follow-up recommendation. It's designed to be simple, transparent, and highly effective. Now, these 5 pillars are absolutely crucial. Fast-track appointments, clear quotes, which mean no hidden surprises, a total rarity in this industry, I know, postcode-led availability for quick turnarounds across London, digital delivery, and emergency options. A truly clear process means you are never, ever left in the dark about what happens next if a system fails an inspection. All right, Section 5, Common Landlord Mistakes, What to Avoid. These common mistakes, waiting for tenant move-in to check certificates, assuming old certificates are probably fine without checking dates, ignoring HMO conversions or saving documents in scattered email threads, they all stem from a reactive mindset. Treating a failed inspection as just annoying paperwork rather than an urgent safety action plan, that is a literal fast track to legal trouble. A professional London landlord does not wait for a council complaint to discover what documentation is missing. Remember this golden rule. The absolute easiest compliance problem to solve is the one you handle before the deadline. Being proactive, that hits the nail on the head. It's the ultimate hallmark of a successful property manager.
Which leads us perfectly to Section 6, Planned Compliance for London, Proactive Property Management. Ultimately, the choice is yours. Are you going to be constantly putting out fires, panic searching, and leaving yourself vulnerable to delayed tenancies and fines? Or are you choosing planned compliance? Going with planned compliance gives you a consistent, safe portfolio that is ready for an audit at a moment's notice. It's just peace of mind, for sure. Because whether you manage a single flat or an entire portfolio of HMOs, consolidating your inspections into one reliable London-focused provider just cleans up your files and eliminates those last-minute panicked calls. The administrative burden is drastically reduced, tenant confidence shoots up, and your legal and insurance conversations, they become incredibly straightforward because your documentation is literally flawless. So when you're ready to book, here's a massive pro tip. Have this exact checklist ready. Full property address, London postcode, exact service required, property type, access contact details, and the deadline. Prepping that means zero back and forth. You get clarity and you get an engineer scheduled right to your specific time frame immediately. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to really reflect on. Take control of your portfolio today by contacting Landlord Property Certificates so you never, ever have to scramble for a missing document again. Will your property file be legally documented and ready to let before the deadline becomes an emergency? Making the shift to unified planned compliance guarantees the answer to that question is always a resounding yes. Thanks for diving into this explainer with me today.